The college football experience, week 2 DFS and Underdog draft preview and picks episode of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up, and when you do, sign up with the promo code TCESGPN to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. Also, make sure to enter our free roll football contest. Up to $3,500 in prizes is up for grabs. So go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/free roll to enter today. Once again, that is sportsgamblingpodcast.com/free roll to enter today.
This is Coach June Jones, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Welcome to the college football experience. Week 2 DFS and Underdog Fantasy Draft. Oh, we got games on Friday. We got a slate for Saturday morning. We got a slate for Saturday night. Yes, I am super excited. I'm going to take this guy's money right here. Just throw it out on the table. Give me that cash. YouTube.com/the college experience. You can watch this show and see, if I'm going to be up in, I'm currently in the Bay Area, Oakland, California. If I'm going to be in Oakland, California, I got to look like a hipster. So I put on the glasses, make sure I really dial back a winning lineup here.
Mission accomplished. You look like a hipster.
Yes. There we go. I'm drinking some type of coffee that I don't know what the hell it is. But Frappa, it's like that commercial that's currently going right now with that woman from American Pie. It's like a Frappa Appa. I don't know. Anyway, Stifler's mom. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, if you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
Yeah, I know that's my son crying in the background. He saw my DFS lineup last week and he said, "That's something to cry about." That is something to really cry about. Okay, this show's going great here at the hotel. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Glad you tuned in for the babies crying. Oh my. This is just not working.
Get the pacifier.
This is just not working. Yeah. Can we call for a pacifier? All right, I am joined by my co-host. Give it up for the DFS god himself, the rooftop IPA drinking, homebrew making, tobacco road living, the free lock giving, former Herndon Basketball League MVP. Give it up for NC Nick in the place to be.
There we go. What's up, man?
Well, yeah, I think you understand what's up with me.
For
but
me,
we got games. Yeah, you guys. I see Lola.
I was going to say Nola, buddy. Nola, like New Orleans, Louisiana. Okay.
I got
you're
you.
watching on YouTube in the background. My dog is being an angel right now. Just wait till she starts barking.
Well, speaking of New Orleans, we got Muddy Waters here.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's a good sign to bet on SMU and Duke tonight.
Wait, he's New Orleans,
I'm sorry,
or is he Memphis?
BYU and Duke tonight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's tomorrow, isn't it?
It is tomorrow. I don't know. I feel like there should be games on Thursday.
We're off and running. Right here. Yeah, there should be games on Thursday. It's a damn shame. I am paying my farewells to the Oakland Coliseum, and the Oakland A's. That's why I plan to hit the game in a few hours here. Give him the heater, Ricky. One of my favorite franchises is going to be moving to Las Vegas. Perfect. Absolutely horrible. But anyway, let's get to
this.
This is tough. This is actually like worst case scenario, I think. How'd your DFS lineup do last week?
I was in the money on the main one Saturday during the day. To quickly recap last week, Thursday, B Fur 54 won, Jamie 8238 came in second. Those two bastards win a lot. Very good DFS players. My Friday lineup was struggling. I came in last place Friday night. RR Bold Jr. came in first. Jamie again in the money came in second. But then if we go to Saturday, I did finish third with Jamie and B Fur 54 in the money again. Somebody knock off these guys. Saturday night, Structo and our guy EB Steelers in the money. That's the quick recap. You finished third Saturday night.
Yeah. And White Tiger is not happy with third. He is definitely out on this episode. And
only take him for a walk around the break out the stroller, take him for a walk around the block.
Well, you've been to Oakland, California lately, buddy?
No, I can't say that I have.
Look, and the hotel's not bad, but
is there a hotel pool that we can dip them in the water?
You might get some homeless shit thrown at you if you decide to leave the parameters. So anyway, folks, look, we're gonna dive into the DFS slate. I definitely gave you some lemons last week, but look, I cashed week 0, so relax. Want to tell you though that the College Football Experience DFS episodes brought to you by SGPN. Yes, the Sports Gambling Podcast is back, picking every NFL game against the spread since 2011. Make sure to enter the free roll football contest, up to $3,500 in cash app for grabs there. Sign up at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/free roll. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/free roll. All right, we're back. My son's not screaming this second. Let's try to quickly yell our DFS lineups into the microphone. How'd you find the Friday slate? I thought was pretty fun, right?
Well, at least we got 3 games. So we got Western Illinois, Indiana, where we still don't have a spread or a total, at least as far as I've seen. Then we got BYU SMU with a total of 55.5, and the expected low scoring game Duke Northwestern with the total of only 37.5. But of course, I think all these lineups are fun. I'm ready to jump right in, man.
Yeah, and Cannabis Capper talks about this. Wasn't expected, wasn't prepared for Professor Dant. Well, that's what I had to do I went deep into the numbers. You know what I mean? So no, it's no pick Dundee here. This is Pick Flair here. Pick Flair, making the picks for you. So Friday slate. Obviously, you got 3 games, as you alluded to. I didn't take anything in the Duke Northwestern game. How about you?
I got one guy. I was close. So I took nobody on Western Illinois. I think that's the same with you. I think the Pleathernecks have lost 25 straight games, and they just gave up.
Program.
Yeah,
exactly. Proud program too.
And they just gave up over 700 yards of offense to Northern Illinois. So no, nobody on Western Illinois. Most of my folks are on Indiana or the BYU SMU game. But speaking of Duke Northwestern, I was close to rostering Mike Wright, the quarterback of Northwestern, just due to his rushing abilities. Do you think that's a bad play? I know it's going to be low scoring.
I do, because I watched that Miami, Ohio game. Yeah. Now, that was a 3-3 game mid 4th quarter. So now he might be able to steal you some rushing points, and maybe the fact that no one else is going to roster him, maybe.
Yeah.
will give you some value. But yeah, I went with Jake Ratsass, the quarterback for BYU at 6,000.
I think you have to play the music. I did as well.
There we go. Yes. All right. Well, I have another quarterback.
I did too, but real quick on Retzlaff. I mean, week 1 against a pretty good Southern Illinois team. He throws for 350 and 3 touchdowns. I think that BYU SMU game is going to be tight. I think BYU covers that game. I know you agree with me, and I do think there's going to be lots of points there. And for only $6K, he is very underpriced. I mean, compare him to the SMU quarterbacks. I say quarterbacks.
Stone.
Because we don't know what the hell they're doing with Preston Stone and Jennings. Again, they're trying to run a 2-quarterback system. It makes no sense to me. You know, I think Preston Stone just needs to be given the keys and to play every snap.
Especially after that comeback.
Right.
Well, like when we saw them struggle, both were struggling against Nevada. Preston Stone gets in there and wills the team, him and really RJ Maryland. But yeah, I think you're right.
When he was needed, he got all the snaps. So what is Lashley doing? Is he just trying to keep Jennings happy? I don't understand it, but I don't like the 2-quarterback
He's
system.
This guy's going to transfer to Wake Forest if not.
And therefore, I didn't roster either one of them. My second quarterback is Curtis Rourke for Indiana for 8.7K.
Yeah, that's mine too. You sandbagging son of a bitch. All right. I do have Curtis Rourke, and these are the breaks. My only fear here is he gets pulled or mid-second quarter.
Sure.
Because Western, look, I'm one of the guys, I'm one of the few on planet Earth that had Western Illinois plus 35 last week, and that was cooked pretty early on. So bit terrified of them pulling Rourke, but I think he could put up some big stats in the 1 quarter he does play.
Yeah, I agree.
At the running back spot, how many running backs did you go with? I went with 3.
Yeah, I got 3 as well. I'm assuming we're gonna share the top guy. And for SMU, he has ascended to the top of the depth chart. It is Miami transfer Brashard Smith for 6.4K.
Nope.
Oh, all right. Some differences. I mean,
I don't want that stinking bum.
Well, so far he's looked pretty good. In both games, and Jalen Knighton didn't play last week. I don't know what's going on there.
He's probable. He's probable. So that's what I was thinking.
Well, I mean, Lashley it's almost like he hates college fantasy football because he doesn't want to make it easy on any of us at quarterback, at running back, at receiver. But I do think Brashard Smith, I think he, like I said, he is number 1 now. And although other guys are going to get carries, I still think he continues his hot hand and puts up another pretty good game.
Well, I went with Knighton.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. $4,700. He's underpriced. He's getting in there. He's probable. He's got to get some snaps here. So, BYU's rush defense, obviously, last season was a weakness, but Jay Hill, year 2, I know he just had a heart attack, but hopefully the BYU perhaps playing for something. But
I kind of feel like he's fallen out of favor. I mean, is it just that he was a little bit banged up, or I mean, he didn't even play that much in week 1, or I should say week 0.
Yeah, I don't have enough money for Brashard Smith, so it's either that or Cam Porter. But I think that offense is just so shit that it's hard to start Thomas. I don't want that. No, I'm taking a shot on Knighton. Okay. LJ Johnson is doubtful too, right? So
okay, that helps then.
Yeah,
that helps.
So I will I will load up there. And I loaded up with the other running back in this game, LJ Martin for BYU.
So that's an interesting, breakdown too, because apparently he did not start against Southern Illinois. The other guy did, Hinckley Ropati. So now, Johnson got his carries as well, but at least the first couple series, it was Ropati on the field, much more so than Johnson. So that's they're going to split carries as well.
Well, he probably had premarital sex. It's probably what happened there, and they were giving him a hard time. But yeah, I went with 5,200
Wait, how much? See, no, I just think he's there. Look, against Southern Illinois, you can afford to do something like that. Now you're playing SMU. You got to play your best guys.
I guess the argument is that, maybe he got more carries last week because BYU got up early and that's when he got a lot of his carries. But if it is a tight game, maybe they lean on the starter more. I don't know exactly how it's going to break out. All I'm saying is it's a little bit of a gamble.
Well, who's your second running back?
My last two running backs are the Indiana running backs. Kalen Black, the JMU transfer,
he's questionable though, right?
He's nursing a hammy, so I did not include him. I'm including, speaking of Wake Forest transfers, I got Justice Ellison for 6.3K.
Yep. Stud. And my only fear is, once again, he might be benched by the first quarter.
Well, if he gets benched, it's going to be for Tyson Lawton, who also went 16 carries for 74 yards and 2 touchdowns against FIU last week. So I got Lawton and Ellison. Did I mention how many yards the Pleathernecks gave up last week? Over 700.
Yeah, I think actually I'll probably switch to Lawton there too.
Yeah.
Get rid of LJ Martin. Keep Knighton though, because with LJ Johnson not going to, doubtful. I would say.
I think I misspoke with my LJs when I was talking about LJ Martin too. We got too many LJs on this slate.
Yeah. So now I got my 3 back. So I'm going Ellison, Lawton, and Knighton.
I'm going Ellison, Lawton, and Brashard Smith. What is Knighton's price again? Do I sense a side bet between the two SMU running backs, or is
I don't have enough money to get
okay? Yeah,
Smith.
You guys only like 4 point something K.
4.7. Yeah.
4.7 versus 6.4 isn't fair. So never mind. Move on to receivers.
All right. Well, receivers. There's one guy that just dominated the Nevada Wolfpack, and I think he's going to be a first round draft pick. His name is RJ Maryland. He is a must play to me on this slate.
I did not play him week 0. That bit me. It came back to bite me big time. I am playing him this week.
All right, 5,800. Get on over there. Russell Maryland, former Miami Hurricane and Dallas Cowboy great. Where did he go after the Dallas Cowboys? Was it the Raiders? I feel like he might have played for the Raiders after.
I think so. And don't be scared off because RJ Maryland just had 1 catch last week. He was not needed against Houston.
Yes.
Again, when SMU needed to come back against Nevada, it was the RJ Maryland show. So I expect in a close game to have a lot of targets going his way.
White Tiger, big fan of RJ Maryland. The other receiver spot, I went with Chase Roberts from BYU. Look, nothing like a good old white wideout named Chase Roberts. Is he white? I think he's white.
I think he is.
Yeah. Just making that assumption that everyone on BYU is white or if you don't have a Polynesian last name, you got to be white.
I mean, and then the name Chase as well. So you had 2 good things going for you there.
Yeah, now that I think about it, there's not many Chase. There's not many. Is there? What about the Redskins draft pick back in the from Ohio State, right? There was Chase Brown. Chase Brown, the running back from Illinois.
There's a couple.
Yeah.
Okay. Chase Young. Yeah. Okay. All right. Never mind.
So yeah, they're starting to become more popular. I think you're looking for a Fran, although Fran Brown, that one defied all logic to me. I was like, wait, you're telling me this guy's not white? It happens. Sometimes, I think.
But no, I have Chase Roberts also because he is the wide receiver 1 for BYU, coming off a 100-yard game, only 5.3K. It makes a lot of sense, especially if you got Ratzlaff at quarterback.
I like to call him Rat's ass at quarterback.
I like that too.
Yeah. So give me your next wideout because I only got 1 player left.
I only got 1 guy also, and so far we're sharing almost everybody. But the one guy from the Duke Northwestern game, I will take you to Duke's wide receiver 1, Jordan Moore for 6.1K. 112 yards in the opener against Elon, and he was very close to connecting on a couple other long balls with Malik Murphy. So I think maybe that comes to fruition this week, and he catches a couple long ones against Northwestern.
Well, I don't get the
guy's a Duke fan. He had to put a Dookie there.
Gotta get one of them in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I mean, Northwestern's defense was good last season. I think it's going to be good this year. Again, based off of that week 1 performance against Miami, Ohio. So you're on your own here. but I understand the logic because he did look pretty decent last week. I went with Jordan Hudson as my final guy from SMU, just loading up the fact that I think they're going to throw the ball quite often, as Rhett Lashley teams always do. So loaded up with him at 6,400.
I mean, there you go. There's our side bet. The battle of the Jordans, Hudson versus Moore. Let's go.
Yes, let's go, folks. What to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy Pick'em gives you a chance to win 1,000 times the amount of money you enter. They got college football best ball. And we're about to do a draft here in a second here, but the NFL is back and there's a ton of pick'em specials as well to get you started. You can now use specials and boost on all flexed entries. So sign up, and when you do sign up with the promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. Let's jump on over there and do a little draft action right now. Let's see what we can do.
Hopefully this goes a bit smoother than last week. All right, so we're going to go into the college football week 2 battle royale for $5. If anybody's listening out there, if they want to join in with us, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let me know when
you got to
ready.
click on drafts. You got to click on drafts. Okay, so I'm going to select it right now. Hop it in this thing.
Me too.
$5 entry.
Oh,
It's fetching my draft.
Draft starts
I'm
soon.
in.
Are we both in the same one?
It says I'm waiting for 4 people.
Oh, I got
Did you
into one.
You sandbagging son of a gun.
This is not working. Let me try it again.
No, you're good. Just stay in that shit. We'll just talk about our teams once they get drafted.
All right. I'm in 3 more to start now. So I'm in the one that you're in also. So I'll have one auto drafted. No big deal.
Well, I can tell you this. It's my pick. And I want
I got 2 more
right
to start.
Oh yeah. But why is it telling me it's my pick?
That has not worked for 2 weeks in a row. Should I hop out of this one? Did your draft already start?
No, it didn't. But okay, maybe you're right. It says Q. But the light is on me. So we were waiting for 2 people. Hop on in there. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. Because I see an opportunity here. I see a lot of opportunity to dominate. Wait for just one person now. So we are almost right there. We're almost right there.
And so this is just for week 2. And let's see what games we have to choose from while we're waiting on this.
NC State, Tennessee. You got Kansas, Illinois. You got Syracuse, Georgia Tech, Colorado, Nebraska, Oklahoma State, Arkansas, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, California, Auburn, Texas, Michigan, Marshall. Wait, is that Marshall? No, that's Maryland versus Michigan State, and Utah, Baylor. Did I say Auburn, Cal?
Maybe.
And Iowa versus Iowa State, which I don't want any of those players.
At tight end, maybe you grab Luke Lachey or something.
Yeah, we're waiting on one person, so let's just continue on. Get on over there though. Promo code TCESGPN at Underdog Fantasy. Let's go.
The draft is starting soon. So
there we go.
So you have the first pick, I have the second pick, and the draft will begin in 50 seconds. Talk to me about who you're going to go with the number 1 overall pick. Are you going Olive Garden?
No, because I think Arkansas might be better. I am looking at I'm probably going Shedeur Sanders. So I know Nebraska's defense is supposed to be like the strongest part of that team, but I just don't think they have anyone that can really guard Travis Hunter or Jimmy Horn.
Is Virgil in the chat? PSU fans too. I think he might have jumped in also. If so, he's picking at number 6. Well, if you don't take the Olive Garden, then I will, because he's just the closest thing to a surefire running back. And I think you could argue the quarterbacks and receivers might be a little bit deeper than running back here. So you are now on the clock.
All right. Well, let me just carry out my wishes here. Shedeur Sanders drafted. It's on my team. Just like that. Right. You have your little Olive Garden. All right. I think Sam pulled Pork Pittman. He knows how to stop a vital running attack. So let's go.
You can eat breadsticks. Let's do it.
So now it jumps to
some other dude.
So yeah,
Recat.
Yeah,
Recat, something like that. I wonder if he goes ahead and grabs Travis Hunter. I mean, that game he had against North Dakota State, unbelievable.
Yeah. And does he get credit? Yeah, he did. He did go Travis Hunter. Does he get credit for interceptions? That's what I want to know. I don't think he does. Right?
No, just offensive stats. Now I think it's wide open. And Aronde Gadsden. Ooh, man. Okay. Drafting the tight end in the first round. I like it.
He had a monster game the other night. You'll be hearing his name later in this lineup or in our DFS slate.
Yeah. DraftKings has bumped up his price a little bit. It was ridiculously low.
It's still cheap though.
It's still very affordable though. Yeah. I completely agree. And all right, we're coming up in 3 picks here. I got the Olive Garden with the first one. I wonder if I go ahead and grab my quarterback here now. Well, you already have a quarterback, so no, I'm going to go probably a running back or receiver. Maybe I go Jimmy Horn. Or you got to have pieces of that Colorado passing attack. Or do I lean in on Oklahoma State and go Brennan Presley at receiver and grab their running back and receiver?
Stack it
up. Horn goes right. Horn goes right in front of me. You know what?
Stole him from you.
I'm going to go tight end and go Brent Kuthi from Utah.
Woo. Well, I'm going to stay with my Western Carolina transfer, Desmond Reed.
Baller.
Yes, let's go. And then it goes back to me. I got 2 picks. There we go. That's how it works. Look, you want Jimmy Horn. Give me a shot on take a shot on LeJohntay Wester. Have the big day. Let's take a shot on that. I just think you're gonna got too many options at wide receiver there with the Buffs. Got a loaded receiver.
You know what? I was thinking about taking Presley. I will take Presley here. So I do think Oklahoma State beats Arkansas. They cover and they're going to put up nice offensive output in the process. So I got Presley.
There we go. See, I'm on those Razorbacks. Bobby Petrino coming in there. He's going to get it done.
I was close to taking Haynes King with that pick, and he was taken right after me. But my hope is that when it comes back around, I can grab Cam Rising.
I like that angle. Hopefully he stays healthy.
No, that's a gamble.
I mean one that makes sense is Dylan Raiola.
Season long, buddy. True.
Yeah. Dylan Raiola against that Buffs defense that didn't look amazing in week 1, I think makes a lot of sense if you're going to go the quarterback route.
Speaking of Nebraska, I think in DFS you rostered Isaiah Nayor last week.
I did.
He had a very nice first game as a Cornhusker, so he's on my radar this week.
Yeah. So what are we at? We're a couple picks away. Once again, underdogfantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. Hop on over there. White Tigers got a team. Yeah.
Cam Rising, 2 picks away. Fall to me. What did he have? Like 5 touchdowns last week? And didn't
Who's going to pull the
game?
trigger? Yeah. I mean, Southern Utah though, and Baylor, big difference. But is anyone going to pull the trigger on Quinn Ewers against that stout Michigan defense that won a national championship a year ago?
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
All right.
Know about that either.
So I don't have to take Rising now because you already have your quarterback. So I'm going to go ahead and go with. You know what? I will go Nayor. Colorado's defense sucks. Breaking news.
I can't defend that. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I'm going to jump over to the likes of, I just think there's some guys to move the ball here in this Georgia Tech Syracuse game, but I don't know. Squirrel White is always interesting.
Myron Kidd says your opponents are watching this stream. I say, let them watch. Let the boy watch. You know what I'm talking about?
Eastbound and down. That's a funny reference right there. Yeah, I'm gonna take a shot on Eric Singleton, the Yellow Jackets wideout. So he's kind of a baller. I liked his game a lot last season. Loaded up with him.
Ham Rising
Now
it comes to me, so I'm good to go there. And we got one more pick each.
oh shit! Did I take Isaiah Bond?
You did.
I didn't.
Did you time out?
Maybe I timed out there. So just load it up on these receivers, even though he's facing the best corner in America. Fantastic.
I will say the one draft last week that was auto drafted for me, it sucked ass. So I'm expecting much better this week.
Shout out to David Matola. Says doing a live show from the Holiday Inn Express. It's the Marriott. All right. It's the Marriott Express. All right. And it's got the waffle maker that you can flip. You know what I mean? Love that thing.
Personal coffee maker and everything.
Oh, it's everything. Everything you can imagine. Everything you want in life comes in a Marriott room pretty much. I am curious what the hell I should do at tight end here because Luke Lachey. No, is anyone going to draft Luke Lachey?
Well, somebody needs a tight end. You haven't drafted your tight end yet, right?
No, I have not.
So he might. I don't know if he's going to fall to you though. You know who I'm looking at here? I'm 2 picks away to round out my roster. If Caden Fegan, the running back for the Fighting Illini, falls to me, I will be a happy camper.
You haven't taken a running back yet?
No, the Olive Garden. He's gonna be.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, the hell's going on over there? Why not take your boy Jordan Waters? You've been hyping him all off season.
Tennessee's defense impressed me in the second half of last year. No, I'm not going to take Waters. I would much rather have Fegan or even Jaquindon Jackson for Arkansas.
Yeah, I like Jackson there.
All right, I am up. Jaden Blue goes right in front of me. I would much rather have Fegan against Kansas than Blue against Michigan. So yes. And with that, Colby, Lachey is there for you.
I can't do it.
You need a tight end. You got to draft some tight end.
No, I'll save that for the last pick.
This is the last pick.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Because I did 3 receivers because that phony draft pick.
Take him. Take your Iowa Hawkeye.
No. Look, there's not enough people named Bartholomew.
Well, you better hurry up.
Gavin Bartholomew is drafted. Completed my draft.
Wow.
Pitt Panthers going to score some points against that foo-foo Cincinnati defense. So anyway,
I got the curse on me because I have the highest projection of 105.7 compared to yours of 82.5. But that projection doesn't mean a damn
about
thing.
to say, right? I mean, they projected Virginia Tech to beat Vanderbilt by 14 points, didn't they? What happened there? All right. Desmond Reed kicking ass. Also, watch out. Myra knows what I'm talking about. All right, now back to, so once again, hop over to Underdog Fantasy, promo code TCESGPN. That's some of the cool stuff they offer. There's a lot more too on higher and lower stat totals for each game. Let's jump to the second slate though, NC Nick, which is Saturday day. Which slate did you find the easiest for you? Is it this one?
I think so. And this one, there was so many cheap options that were like in the like right around 5K where if anything, I couldn't get them all on my lineup, but I thought I just thought DraftKings mispriced a lot of people here. So I found it easy to save money on people, go cheap with people so I could spend up on others. But I like this one and the Saturday night one also. None of them came difficult to me. You know how every once in a while, you just hate the lineup. You hate the games, you hate the pricing, but I like both these.
Yeah. And did you do 2 quarterbacks? Because I did.
I only went one actually. I followed the same blueprint I went with the main slate last Saturday, where I was in the money and just went one. And the one I went with, Avery Johnson, 7.5K. I think he has. Yeah. What do you think about that, White Tiger?
White Tiger, not a fan of that, Jeffy. So what you got to do? You got to make shots. Oh God, this episode's been a disaster. But
People out there who maybe don't have kids, maybe they're like, you know what? Maybe I don't need a kid.
Yeah. At the quarterback spot, I went with Haynes King as he wasn't my highest price though. I have a more higher priced one, but Haynes King was the first player drafted.
Haynes King was what 8.1K.
8.1K.
When I was going through my lineup, he was in it for a while. I do like him and Jamal Haynes, but ultimately he didn't make it. But I do like the play.
Well, who'd you go with, buddy?
Oh, I told you, Avery Johnson, make shots.
Oh,
I know
that's right.
You were distracted by a crying baby there, but I think he didn't have a great week one. I think he bounces back in a big way. Both with his legs, with his arm. Avery Johnson.
All right, with my second QB, since you didn't roster one yet, buffoon, Drew Aller. I'm sold. I'm sold. And Bowling Green, I know they're a veteran team. Good luck at Beaver Stadium there. Andy, Kotelnicki?
Mm-hmm.
A hard time with that one. He really opened up this offense. Bowling Green, you are doomed. And Aller, I think, will have a big game there in Happy Valley. So those are both of my quarterbacks.
I like it. I like the play. I mean, you can't argue with what he did against West Virginia, and now they're at home. The schedule lightens up. He might not need to play all 4 quarters, but it certainly looks like that Penn State passing attack has woken up.
Yes, Myron also saying Taylon Green, which I thought about that. I did entertain that because he's a baller.
I'm not sold completely on Green just yet. I know as a freshman at Boise, he had some really, really nice games. As a sophomore, he struggled big time. And let's just remember who Arkansas played week 1.
But let's remember what Bobby Petrino had in Lamar Jackson, Jason Shelley at Missouri State.
Fair.
He's been very good with the exception of, and even Connor Wegman. You look at Connor Wegman last season, he looked a lot better than this season.
That's true. Good point.
So I think Myron might actually have a good play there. At the running back spot, what'd you go with?
All right. So I fit him into my lineup again. I think you almost have to just plug him in and then move on to the next one. And that is the Olive Garden. I just took him in the Underdog draft. I'm going to roster him here as well for 9.6K.
Well. I only went with 2 running backs, by the way.
Ooh, man. Spreading them out wide, huh?
And you just heard me draft him. Desmond Reed, the Western Carolina transfer. This guy is electric. If you haven't caught his game, he's a baller. And I think Cincinnati. I don't have any faith in Cincinnati's defense the way that Towson was able to hang around that game. So load up over there. And
I might have cut out there for a second, but I have him as well. So yes, play the music.
Oh, there we go. Let's go. Desmond Reed, the Western. Shout out to Weehawk. Although I bet if he's listening, he's turned it off by now because of White Tiger screams.
I do agree that Pitt Cincy could be a sneaky game for a lot of points. A lot of fantasy action. So I'm kind of buying into that new Pitt offense. Now, granted, it was just one game against Kent State, so maybe we're foolish. But that new OC looks like he's got a plan, and the plan's working.
Well, and you saw that same offense go up against NC State.
Yeah,
with his dad.
Yeah.
So that offense moves. They're Spurrier boys. You know that offense gonna move, all right? Who's your next? So we both had that running back. So hold on. Let me give away my second one. Is Jamal Haynes, one of my favorite players in college football. He is a baller.
Man, doubling down on the Yellow Jackets. You got both Haynes, Haynes King and Jamal Haynes, huh?
I watched that Q's defense look a little shaky last week against those Ohio Bobcats.
They gave up a 200-yard rusher. So again, I like the play. I had him in my lineup at different points, but I didn't settle on him.
Well, who did you go with, buddy?
I'm going to go back to Kansas State and go Daniel Giddens, 6.6K. Again, he had over 100 yards. I think it's like 6 or 7 games in a row, and he didn't even need to play most of the second half last week. So I think Kansas State has a nice offensive output this week.
There we go.
I have one more running back.
Yeah,
so give him two.
Yeah, give him two.
I will go Jaquindon Jackson for Arkansas. So not Taylon Green, but for only 5.2K. he had 8 rushes for 101 yards and 2 touchdowns last week. Again, against Arkansas Pine Bluff, he wasn't really needed. I think he is their bell cow. And I also think Oklahoma State could be a game where a lot of points are scored.
I like it. I thought about that one. I almost rostered him, but I went with another guy that, since we could just do the Battle of Bourbon right now.
Oh, okay.
He was the number 1 recruit at the wide receiver position, 3 years ago, I believe. Mario Williams for Tulane. I think that is their advantage. Like they have to find ways to get him the ball. I don't think K-State has a corner that can match up with him. And that's what I feel like, I battled that because I took Jaquindon Jackson first, and then I said, nah, let me go Marlon Williams. So
Mario Williams was what was he, like 4.8K or so? He was
Marlon. I meant Mario. Yeah.
He was in that range where I considered him also. What was his price?
5.4.
Okay, so I went with the cheaper option in Jackson, and I'm down. I'll battle you all day.
Let's go. Battle of Bourbon, you pile of shit. Let's go. And then I talked about this one. Oronde Gadsden Jr. I mean, this guy's a stud.
Yep.
This put him in the NFL now. He's ready to dominate. Georgia Tech. I mean, I don't think they have an answer for this guy. I think he's one of the best players in the entire ACC, really. So
I kind of like the bring back for you also, since you're drafting both Haynes for Georgia Tech, and then you got the bring back with Gadsden. Nice little roster construction there. And yeah, I just think, even though last week he was like 3.8K or something last week, 3.5K last week, which is ridiculous. So his price is $1,500 more, but it's still a bargain for just 5K.
Yeah. So give away one of your receivers, because I only got one guy left.
Well,
I have 2 left. Yeah.
I have 2 left also. I'm going to take the best receiver for Penn State, who had a very nice week 1, Harrison Wallace, who went, what did he go? First off, he got 9 targets, 5 of 117 and 2 touchdowns. If you got Drew Aller, I don't see how you don't also get Harrison Wallace, because it looks like he's the number 1 target there.
Yeah, I would agree.
But you don't have him.
Well, I just thought they'd pull him a little early.
All right.
I like the quarterback spot. I know they're going to pull Aller in the second quarter, but yeah, I went actually this pit game. Kenyatta Mumfield.
Yep.
I just think Pitt's going to score points, and Cade Bell in this offense, high powered at 5K, roster up on these Pitt wideouts.
Well, it's funny. I think there's at least 3 different Pitt wideouts you can play, and my last guy is a Pitt wideout not named Mumfield. I'm going Kenny Johnson, who had 7 catches on 8 targets for 105 yards and a touchdown last week. So it seems to me like his rapport with Eli Holstein is just there. Mumfield's been better for Pitt in previous years, but we have a new coordinator, a new quarterback, so I don't think Mumfield is necessarily number 1, and more importantly, I couldn't afford him, so I got Kenny Johnson at 4.4K.
I like it. All right. Well, you have one more guy?
Nope, that's my squad.
My final guy is Caden Prather, the former West Virginia Mountaineer who's now at Maryland. Maryland didn't need to fire the laser all over the field last week, but I think this week that'll be one clear advantage they have as their receivers against Michigan State. So at 46 or 4.6K, Caden Prather, the starting wideout for the Maryland Terrapins.
He was another guy I considered for sure. There were so many guys in that range. I mean, you could argue the other Syracuse receivers, Pena and Haynes, I believe, they're very low price, had nice week 1s. You could argue Luke Lachey, mentioning him again. He was only 3.8K. So if you were really in need of a money saver, you could dip down to him, who had 6 for 63 last week. So lots of juicy options for cheap in this slate. It'll be interesting to see which ones come through.
Yeah, and final slate. But before we get there, I want to let you know that the College Football Experience is brought to you by Rhythm. Have you ever wanted to create your own sports betting model for football? Do you even know what a sports betting model is? Well, SGPN's proud partner Rhythm is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds and get predictions for betting on money lines, spreads, totals, props, all that good stuff. The Rhythm college football model had me on Colorado, North Dakota State under 59.5, which did cash. Sure, nice little deflection off of a foot in the end zone saved us a little bit there. But claim your free 7-day trial period today by go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Game Time is now an authorized ticket marketplace of the MLB, which makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. So what are you doing? Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the redeeming code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. This works for college football too. You're going to go out to a game, stand up, going to go see a play, Book of Mormon. I don't know. Yeah, use this CFBX for the promo code there. Once again, terms apply. Create that account, redeeming code CFBX for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
Is the Book of Mormon the BYU playbook?
That is the Book of Mormon, especially now that Slovis is gone. Get on over there, check it out. Let's. So now we got the final slate here, Saturday night. I did 2 quarterbacks as well here.
I did here. Again, I thought there were so many options right around 5K, give or take $500, where just so many possible options. I see Myron Kidd in the chat mentioning Donovan Smith. Oh man, I went all in on that Houston offense in the Saturday night slate last week, and they did not. Man, Jack scored a touchdown, but that was
with
it.
10 seconds left. With 10 seconds left in that game,
all he does is catch touchdowns. But man, they look so bad. So that's funny. But yeah, I went 2 quarterbacks. I'll start off. I was all ready to take Shedeur Sanders here, but then I saw for $700 cheaper I could go Jalen Milroe, and that's where I went with.
That's my starting QB too, Jalen Milroe. I only think with each coming week, I'm a big Jalen Milroe fan. I was a big fan last season. All right, and then when I saw Kalen DeBoer get the job, I go, ooh, I can't wait to watch their development play out over the season.
And remember, in last year's Bama South Florida game, Nick Saban made probably one of the dumbest choices he's ever done and did not play Milroe in that game because Milroe struggled a little bit the week before against Texas.
Yeah,
very.
He was like, let's play Tyler Buckner. Look, everyone's saying he's the greatest coach ever, but God damn it, Jalen Milroe. I've always been sold that he's a very good player. He's not your typical quarterback, and I think everyone's in love with. You gotta have the typical quarterback. Jalen Milroe is a baller. He plays the game to me, he's just a really dynamic player.
And was he green last year? Yes, especially early on. But that's why he needed to play more. So by the end of the year, they could be that much better.
Yeah, and I like I said, he's one of my favorite players in college football, and the fact I get to watch him develop each week with DeBoer, because I really think you saw what Michael Penix pre-DeBoer at Indiana wasn't much, and then he now they're completely different style quarterbacks, I might add, but I'm just fascinated by watching it, and I think he's underpriced a little bit. 9,500. Yep. Jalen Milroe. Do you have a second quarterback? You do, right?
I do. I went cheap, 6.5K. The team that threw the ball the most in all of college football last year, which was Georgia Southern, averaging 44.4 passing attempts per game. And JC French had a pretty nice week 1 game against Boise, who I thought had a good defense. He also ran in one. So even though they're on the road here at Nevada looks better than we thought, but still, I mean, volume play for a very cheap price with French.
JC French, that is a nice play. I know our boy Clay, who works there at Georgia Southern, was convinced they should have went with the backup Dexter Williams, I think his name is, the Indiana transfer. But after week 1, I don't know that you can argue that anymore, Clay. My second QB, I went with Dylan Raiola. I think he's going to get his against this Colorado defense that looks a little shaky. Now, I am intrigued. I do expect an interception at some point because I think Colorado secondary is actually pretty damn good. It's the linebacking core and the D line that I worry about. So I just think he'll have opportunity for yards.
You can't argue with that. I guess the main criticism of my lineup is I don't have anybody from Nebraska on it. That might be a big mistake, but it is what it is. So I like the play.
Running back spot. I went with 3 backs. What'd you go with here?
I got 3, all priced between 4.9 and 5.8K. Who's your top dog?
My top dog is probably the same guy. So we both love App State football.
Yeah.
Well, their rush defense was ass last season. As you remember, Coastal Carolina just running down their throats in Boone at Kid Brewer. Phil Maffa at 5.8K is a slam dunk. What are you doing here?
Yeah, no, exactly. So this game reminds me of week 2 last year when App State played another ACC team, and UNC's Omarion Hampton ran for 234 yards and 3 touchdowns on them. Yeah, Maffa's a no-brainer for a cheap price. Yes, he struggled against Georgia. Okay. They get him going this week, so play the music.
Yeah, I had a feeling you were going to roster. I just knew you were going to know that App State. They got to prove to me this rush defense is improved and better.
Right.
Second running back, I will stay in the. Well, actually, if I go price wise, I will take you out to Reno, Nevada, where Sean Dollars. How do you not take anybody on? They just gave up 6 rushing touchdowns to my guy, the baller,
Ashton Genty.
Yeah, Ashton Genty from Boise. So Sean Dollars, the Oregon Duck transfer, 5,400 there for Nevada. I think Jeff Choate studying that film saying, okay, we have something we want to do here. Let's run the ball against this Georgia Southern team. Did you roster Sean Dollars?
I didn't. Again, pretty nice play, and I also think Georgia State's running back Jalen White is in the mix to be played too.
Dude. I've always liked this game. They just don't. They need to run him more.
Right. But nope. I did not go with either of those guys. But that's kind of a strange game to even be on the slate, and I think you could have some offensive fireworks. So I think it makes sense to get some pieces of that. Sure.
Yeah. So who's your second back?
All right, my second back. I think the Tennessee Volunteer players are very underpriced. I was shocked. I mean, NC State's defense is usually pretty good, even though they didn't look that great against Western Carolina. But if I can get Dylan Sampson, who I also have a ticket on him to lead the SEC in rushing, Tennessee kind of transformed into more of a run-heavy defensive team second half of last year. And Dylan Sampson, he 12 for 124, 3 touchdowns against Chattanooga. Didn't play the second half. The matchup might not be great, but I think for the price and the volume and how good of a player he is, it makes sense.
Let me talk to Sampson. All right, let's go. Yeah, I think it's a wise play. I think that's a wise play. And I almost rostered Squirrel White, who I almost just drafted in the Underdog draft. That's my one complaint too. Like you mentioned, you're not on the Nebraska game.
Yeah.
Not that I want anyone from the pussy pack, but I do want someone from like Tennessee's offense. I think is going to put up points. Josh Heupel and Nico.
Similar to what game were we talking about? The Pittsburgh receivers.
Yes.
Tennessee has 3 draftable receivers for a cheap price. You'll hear me mention one when we go there too.
Well, receiver wise, I did.
Well, I got one more running back then.
Oh.
I just drafted him in the Underdog draft. Brett Bielema compared Caden Fegan to Derrick Henry in the offseason. He's 6'3", 250. In that blowout win against Eastern Illinois, he had 16 for 108. Didn't play much of the second half. If the Fighting Illini have a chance to knock off Kansas, which I think you think they do, it would be wise of them to control the clock and to limit Kansas's plays on offense. So that means a heavy dosage of Caden Fegan. Sign me up.
I like it. Shout out to Myron here. He's cracking me up. I do have one more running back. I'm just brain dead here. Kobe Pace for Virginia. Look, Wake Forest's rush defense was shit a year ago.
Yeah.
So I'll take a flyer on Tony Elliott, former running backs coach and offensive coordinator of Clemson, getting the rock to Kobe Pace, the former Clemson Tiger himself.
What's Pace's price?
He is 5.1.
Man, I will battle you here with either Sampson, who's 52, or Fegan, who's 4.9K.
Pick your poison, buddy.
Or we can do a double one like we did last week. Last week, our double one. What was it again? It was a quarterback battle where, oh geez, I'm drawing.
It was. I remember.
I know I
you
tweeted it out.
Yeah. Who the fuck was it?
I forget.
There was too many slates last week. There was like 7 slates last week. I'm just
we didn't have a whole lot of side bets last time, so let's do it. Let's do Pace.
Yeah.
I'm shocked. I mean, I don't mind the play. I think it's a good play, a good matchup. I'm just shocked you're going with the guy from UVA. Pace versus Fegan.
It's more a play on Wake's rush defense. That's the angle there. Is Wake's rush defense was horrible a season ago. I don't know that it's fixed. If you watch that North Carolina A&T game, actually, that game was actually closer than the final score.
And again, Kid mentions speaking of UVA, he mentions Anthony Calandria. I was this close to fitting in Calandria in this lineup somewhere too, because I think UVA and Wake Forest could score some points here.
Yeah, I definitely think so too. If anything, that's another angle that's what won me a bunch of cash was when Wake played North Carolina. Maybe there's a lot of fireworks here.
Right.
Top priced wideout.
I went with your boy Travis Hunter. I needed at least a player in this game between Colorado and Nebraska. He is 9.2K, but I liked so many of those cheap running backs and some other cheap receivers. Give me Travis Hunter. I mean, tell me he didn't look like the best player in college football last week.
Oh, dude, I was a guest on a different podcast in the past 2 weeks. I think it was right before that Colorado game, where someone on the podcast was saying Travis Hunter is overrated. He's just on Deion's team. If he was on, his argument was if he was on South Carolina, he'd be a no name. I'm like, yeah, I can't talk to this guy. You know what I mean? I'm like, Travis Hunter was not only was he the top recruit in the nation, the guy is just a fucking stud. He's at every position, and you could probably put him on the field, and he'd be very good.
Yeah.
So like that play, didn't have that cash, so I went with his teammate LeJontay Wester, who I do think as the season prolongs. Remember, you called it out on the recap show or whatever that Jimmy Horn got more looks than Wester, which I think only makes sense. He was there last season with Shedeur Sanders, but the more that they spend together, I know some beat writers that said, during spring ball, during early fall camp, Wester in practice flashes almost more than any of the wideouts. So jumping on LeJontay Wester, had over 100 catches on FAU last season. So
I actually think that's a really good pivot play away from Horn. Because Horn had a very good week 1, but last year he was inconsistent also. He had a big game followed by a quiet game. I think you're right. I think Travis Hunter's going to get his, but I think the second best receiver this week, it might be Wester. So I like it.
Yeah. And then I'm curious what you did, because I went bargain shopping for.
Yeah. My next guy is 5.1K. I had to stack French with one of his receivers. He has a couple decent receivers, but I think Derwin Burgess Jr. is probably his favorite target.
You pile up. Dude, I've been rostering this guy for years. This is my guy. I'm still bothered by that Wisconsin game from a season ago. But I'm with you. This guy, dude, I think he's a very good wideout.
Yeah.
I think he's kind of underrated. All right. Well, then I only have one guy left. How many do you have left?
Just one also.
I'm taking you back to Nevada. My guy Cortez Braham from Baltimore. Told you I was hanging out with him Mountain West Media Days.
That's right.
Former West Virginia Mountaineer transfer. He's there. I think he's their wideout number 1. So I'm going to take a shot on him. And we saw how bad Georgia Southern's defense was a week ago.
Yeah.
So let me load up on him. What'd you do in the final?
I like it. Get some guys in that game. I went with Tennessee's leading receiver from last week, actually, and that was Brew McCoy, who what did he catch? 7 of 8 targets for 89 yards, 3.8K. Again, these Tennessee receivers or Tennessee players in general are just so underpriced this week. So sign me up for Brew McCoy.
Yeah. And look, former 5-star recruit to Texas and then USC, and finally found this. Sometimes it takes a third transfer to find your home at Tennessee and a bag of cash. So Brew McCoy, like that play. We'll see how the Pussy Pack fare against the Vols. And that's our show, folks. Give NC Nick a follow on Twitter at NC__NICK. I'm on Twitter at @TheColbyD. The College Football Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Make sure, first off, hop on over to YouTube, youtube.com/The College Experience. Hit that like and subscribe button if you can. Also, if you can hop on over to iTunes, give us a 5-star review. That would be great. And shout out to White Tiger for the assist. I hope your eardrums. I hope no one else needs an Advil listening to this episode. If so, let me know. The next time we meet up, I'll buy you a beer.
Remember, use protection, or that could be you too.
that very accurate, very accurate. Check out the Sports Gambling Podcast. Check out we're gonna be banging out at a FCS episode tomorrow morning as well. FCS College Football Experience. And check out the Stadium Heads podcast where we talk about the history of college football stadiums, all that good stuff. College Basketball Experience, Noah and Mac killing it over there. So check out all those. Check out the College Baseball Experience as well. All come together as one. YouTube.com/The College Experience. Till next time, folks. This is the College Football Experience, DFS style. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Run, shoot.